Well, hey guys, welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. It's so great to be with you here on the show. Tonight we have another amazing granular topic, but of course, we have a great master topic, which we'll get to in just a moment. If you're first time here, I want to say welcome and thank you for joining me here on Inspiration for Your Life. If you're coming back, well, welcome back. Thanks so much for coming back. Really appreciate people that love my content and want to make it a part of their daily life. Today, ladies and gentlemen, if you're following, it is Tuesday. It is December 16th, and it is 2025. So welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. And if you have not checked out believemeachieve.com, check that out after the show. I'm sure you're going to definitely enjoy it. It's a great place to get my short form content and, of course, my long form content. So definitely check that out. And you can get all kinds of great stuff there: reels, articles, replays of the shows, etc. And by the way, I have a nice, delicious cup of hot decaf tea here. Happens to be a Harney blend today, is the one I'm having. And I put a little bit of cinnamon in it, and it is still hot and it is delicious. Just a few sprigs of cinnamon, just a couple, and it's really, really good. All right, so nothing like a hot tea, and so you can get that. You can get something cold if you want. You can get a snack or whatever you want. Get that and hurry on back to the show. All right, guys, really do appreciate that. All right, let's kick this show off. All right, everyone. All right, so welcome everyone to another of the ever popular episode of the Inspirations for Your Life show. It's the daily motivational show that helps you think sharper, feel stronger, and lead your own life on purpose. That's what this week's all about. By the way, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, graduate student, and of course, a passionate lifelong learner. And it is my privilege and pleasure to be here with you today as someone who has spent years building businesses, creating content, and coaching people just like you to communicate with the clarity, confidence, and genuine impact in every area of life. Today's episode for Tuesday is all about communication that actually lands. Series 4, Show 51, episode number 4. And it's all about turning your words, your listening, and your presence into tools that build trust, reduce drama, and help your message actually land where you intend it to. And I think sometimes that's a problem for a lot of people because they speak and it doesn't land anywhere. Is that because people aren't paying attention? Is that because the message isn't very clear? I mean, there are lots of reasons why, but I think we have to make sure that when we communicate, we are purposeful in our actions. I think that's a very, very important thing. If we're not purposeful, then well, we're going to be like very unhappy with our results. I think that's probably one of the biggest things I can tell you. But again, this does not happen overnight. So you've got to realize like what you're doing. And you've got to understand that to be intentional, it's got to come from the heart. Does that make sense? I hope it does. All right, guys, without any further ado, let's go ahead and kick this show off. So first, say what you mean without extra drama, right? Don't put extra like jargon in there. Just say what you mean. Clear communication doesn't need a soundtrack of exaggeration, blame, or emotional fireworks, which so many people want to do because they think it's about principle and that they're going to feel better by, beating themselves on the chest and getting other people to feel bad. That's a very, very poor way to do things, guys. But a lot of people in our world feel, it's about power. It should be about empowerment, okay? When you strip away the drama and speak in simple, direct language, here's what happens. Here's how I feel. Here's what I'm asking for. People can finally hear you instead of just reacting to your intensity. or trying to figure out how to put out all your drama because they don't really care about your message because all they care about is the drama. And they can't have the desire to even care about your message, even if they wanted to care about your message. I think that's a very important thing to understand. All right. It should not be about the drama. All right, guys. It should not be about the drama. That's really very important. All right. Number two. Number two is practice. Practice listening to understand, not just to reply. So that means don't be ready to interrupt somebody. Listen to what they're saying. Most people, okay, most people, that is most people, while mentally drafting their comeback, and it shows that they're trying to do that. Like they're not really listening to what's going on. So when you slow down, you make eye contact, you stay present, and focus on truly understanding the other person's words and feelings before you respond. You build a connection, trust, and you're not hearing me, right? You've heard that before. Moments. You don't want that. Number three, replace vague compliments with clear requests. No one ever helps me, and you're always like this. Don't give anyone anything to work with, okay? Be open. Instead, turn a complaint or complaints into requests like, could you help me with X twice a week? Or next time, please text me if you're running late. So people know exactly what to do differently and what you expect. Number four, use I statements to own your experience without attacking. You never listen to me puts people on the defensive. I feel dismissed when I'm interrupted. Keeps the focus on your experience. I statements allow you to be honest about your feelings while keeping the door open for collaboration instead of, well, a plethora of conflict. Number five, ask more questions instead of assuming the motives. It's easy, folks, to decide someone meant to hurt you, ignore you, or disrespect you, but often that story is incomplete. Asking, can you help me understand what you meant by that? Or what was going on for you in that moment can turn a brewing argument into a clarifying conversation. Number six, notice your tone. It often speaks louder than your words do. Two people can say the same sentence and get completely different reactions because of the tone. Tea is still hot and it's absolutely delicious. Pay attention, guys, to whether you sound curious or sarcastic, open or accusatory, calm or condescending. Your tone can either invite or it can put people out. So it can cause a connection or it can break it down, like shutting it down in seconds. Clarify expectations, number seven, on before problems appear. So miscommunication is the number one reason for lots of challenges. Sometimes people go to court, all because of a misunderstanding, all because an ego got in the way. Miscommunication often happens because expectations were never clearly stated. Take the extra minute to say, here's what I'm expecting, by when, and what success looks like in work, family, and friendships. So people aren't put off, stuck, or guessing what you want. Number eight, guys, don't send important messages when you're heated. Anger writes terrible emails, and even worse, texts. When emotions are high, hit the pause, step away, take a few deep breaths, take a walk, draft it, come back later. And once you're cooler and got a calm head, you'll choose words that move the situation forward instead of blowing it up out of proportion. Number 9, be honest without being harsh. Sugarcoating everything leads to confusion, but brutal honesty, well, it can be brutality with a nice label. Aim for direct, kind truth. Say what's real, but here's the catch. Say it in a way you would still respect it if it were being said to you. That's not easy to do. And that just proves why we should actually think before we just decide to speak. I think that's really important, guys. So, number 10, communicate boundaries early, not after resentment builds. When you stay silent, resentment grows in the dark. Saying, I'm not available for calls after 9 p.m., or I can help with this, but not every week, sets clear lines and prevents blowups later. I had a situation where a client of mine, been a client for a few years, needed some career counseling and coaching. And I remember going to a place to help her get some state resources and funding. And some reason that was unbeknownst to me, she thought that I was just doing it for free when every other time I billed. And so that's why expectations have to be very clear and understood, because it can make things challenging. And so I wrote a letter back, and then I said, from now on, I'm going to need your approval to move forward with things. Like, she said, I need this changed on the resume. Like, okay, I'll do the changes on the resume. You'll get 2 revisions on it, and they're good for a year. This is the charge to do it. Please let me know, if you'd like to, if you want to proceed with this. Learn to say no clearly. Number 11, not in confusing half sentences. Maybe, we'll see, and I'll try, or just, no wearing a costume. Practice short, clean no's, like, thanks for thinking of me, but I'll pass on this, so both of you can move on without lingering confusion. I think confusion is something that a lot of people get, but they don't always know that they are confused, and that could be a really big problem for so many people. They don't understand why they're confused, but they get confused, right? I think that's a very important thing. Number 12, guys, ask people what support looks like for them instead of guessing. The tea is still hot. Sometimes people want advice. Sometimes they want a listener. Sometimes they just want a hug or a bit of space. Asking, do you want ideas or just someone to listen right now, prevents well-meaning help from missing the mark. Number 13, admit when you're wrong faster than your ego wants you to. You're right, I missed that, or I was wrong about how I handled that. Can diffuse the tension in seconds. Owning your mistakes quickly doesn't weaken your credibility. It strengthens it. Number 14, give feedback often that aims to help, not humiliate. We're not here to make ourselves look better than others or to put people down. Make sure it's effective feedback. I call it CC, continuous constructive feedback, CCF. It's specific, it's focused, it's non-accusatory, and it's on the behavior, not on the identity. So look, when this happens, this causes a problem. So we need to change this behavior and point toward a better way. Instead of, you're terrible at this, try, here's one thing that's not working, and one way I think we could improve it. Focus on the task, not on the person. That's important. Number 15, celebrate others' wins out loud. Silent support is nice, but spoken recognition, well, it's much more powerful. Saying, I saw how hard you worked on that, and I'm proud of you, builds trust, loyalty, and a culture where people feel seen. Number 16, guys, don't weaponize silence. This is a great one. Use it to think. Silence can be a thoughtful pause or a form of punishment. Choose to use it for reflection, to calm down, or to let someone finish, not freeze them out or keep them guessing what's wrong. Number 17, replace sarcasm with honesty when it really matters. Sarcasm can be a shield for feelings we're afraid to express, and I think some people do that often. It kind of puts them in this fight or flight mode. When the topic is important, trade the joke for a clear sentence. Actually, this did bother me, and here's why. Be clear. Don't beat around the bush. Number 18, learn how your closest people prefer to receive information. Some want the details. Others want the big picture. Some prefer a text. Others need a call or a face-to-face. Adjusting your style to the person in front of you shows respect and helps your message land more smoothly. In more specific terms, are they auditory, visual, or kinesthetic in the way that they want to be, receiving the feedback? Number 19, be consistent. Mixed signals confuse everyone, including you. Saying one thing and doing another erodes trust very fast. And you have to aim to align your words, your actions, and your follow through so people know what to expect from you. Number 20, guys, practice saying what you need in one clear sentence. I said practice. I need an answer by Friday. I need some quiet to focus, or I need you to be on time beats a 10-minute monologue. The clearer your one sentence, the easier it is for others to respond. Number 21, don't bury important things in long speeches. Be direct. If something truly matters or bothers you, lead with it. Start with it. The main thing I want to get across is, and then explain it. People are far less likely to miss your point. And you'll be less frustrated when people actually follow it instead of not following it. Number 22, when you're in doubt, just clarify right away. What I'm hearing you're saying is, what I'm getting out of this conversation is, or what I believe you want me to do is, reflecting back what you think you heard, what I'm hearing is that you're feeling unaccepted. You're feeling as if you're not valued. You're feeling that you're overwhelmed because most people take all the mistakes out of you when there's other people making the mistakes. It gives the other person a chance to confirm or to correct your understanding, preventing unnecessary conflict. Number 23, choose real conversations over long text wars. I have a lot of people, they like to text. I'm like, I don't want to text like 5 million characters. I want to talk to the person. Complex or emotional topics usually get worse over screens. Why? One of the most important things in the communication spectrum is how you say it. And that translation gets lost when we have texts or screens. When the thread starts getting long and tense, say, let's talk about this on a call or in person, and give the conversation a chance to breathe. See what happens. Number 24, watch your body language. It's part of your message. Crossed arms, eye rolls, or checking your phone say plenty. Even if your words sound polite, aim for open posture, eye contact, open statements. Because if you ask for a yes or no and they say no, the conversation's over. And remember your presence. If you want your message to feel safe and sincere, well, make sure that you exemplify that kind of behavior. Number 25, respect other people's time and attention when you speak. Get to the point, guys. Stay on topic. And notice when someone is overloaded. That tea is delicious. So if you see me or hear me taking a pause, it's because of my tea. Still hot and still a few drops left. Respecting their time makes it more likely they'll actually hear you and be open to what you're saying. Number 26, learn to exit unproductive arguments calmly. Not every disagreement needs a winner. Saying we're going in circles. Let's pause and come back to this later. Protects relationships and gives everyone space to reset. Number 27, recognize that not every opinion needs an audience. Just because you think it doesn't mean you have to say it. Or just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Choosing when not to speak can be just as powerful as choosing the right words and how to say them. Number 28, be that person who talks to people, not just about them. If there's an issue, go to the source with respect instead of venting to everyone else. Direct, kind conversations build trust. Gossip quietly erodes it. Number 29, guys, give yourself permission to outgrow old communication habits. Maybe you were raised around yelling, sarcasm, or avoidance. That doesn't have to be your default now. I had a friend many years ago. We're not friends anymore, but when we were talking about something and we had to talk about something personal, that was his way of basically, he would just kind of be sarcastic or he would say he had to go. He never wanted to address the issue. I remember one time, it was a neighbor, and I remember one time we were talking about something and he just kind of, I don't know, he just kind of like went from point A to point B. And I'll just call him Mike. That's not his name, but I'll say, hey, Mike, look, every time you and I have a conversation and every time there's a challenge that we hit and I have feedback about what didn't make me feel comfortable, you just decide to push it back to me sarcastically, or you decide to tell me, oh, you've got to go because you don't want to hear the feedback. The feedback's not about you. It's just about the behavior. And I want to give you feedback because I want our friendship to last. But if I don't get the opportunity, then you'll never know if I'm upset, if I'm angry, or if I'm disappointed. Or do you even care? Every time you choose a cleaner, calmer, more honest response, you're upgrading your communication operating system to like a 3.0 or 4.0. I think a lot of people, they want to push the envelope because they're in a rush. So I was somewhere today. I'm not going to give you the details. I was somewhere today who I hired to do a service. And the person was very nice and very cordial. However, when I had a question about something, I felt like I was a number. At the end of the process, the manager I went to and I said I had great experience. Everything was amazing, but I give you a 9.5. And the reason is I felt like I was a number when I was with this one person in the process. And I felt like I couldn't even ask a question. And that made me feel like a number. And he said, oh, thanks for the feedback. I'll make sure we get you somebody else next time. Speak up. You can do it in a proper manner. And that didn't alienate me. It made me feel better. And the manager was happy to get my feedback. Many people want feedback. Don't be afraid to share it. Just be polite. So today I want to end our Tuesday by asking you a question. All right. Where can I communicate cleaner? Later today or tomorrow? Think of one relationship, one conversation, or one habit where you can refine. Even a tiny minor tweak. Well, a clearer request, a better question, like the open-ended questions I said to you. When you ask questions, always ask open-ended questions because they have to answer. A softer tone can change the way your words land in people's ears. And that can affect whether they respond positively or negatively, all because of your actions. So your actions actually empower or depower people. I was talking to another person today, and I complimented them, and they said, John, to be honest with you, thank you. And they said it actually comes from higher up from management. We're treated very well, so we treat others well, and we believe that we should treat people in a fair manner, always first. And that was amazing. All right, really amazing. So many places can treat you like a number, right? That's why I don't like to call our customers customers. I like to call them clients. Clients are almost like part of the family, but clients pay. I always say when you go to Target, right? They say, you're a guest. I said, when I invite guests over, I don't pay when I'm a guest. But at your store, I do. So I don't really feel like a guest at your store or your home. You've been listening, ladies and gentlemen, or watching the ever-popular Inspirations for Your Life show. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, graduate student, and yes, a passionate lifelong learner. It's been my privilege and honor to be with you today, and I'm here to give you your daily guide to building communication that doesn't just make noise, but truly connects, calms, and creates the channels for change. So to go deeper, visit believemeachieve.com. Connect with me, follow my content, and see how doing this for just even a few days can help change and improve the quality of your life. Have yourself a good one, everyone. And remember, communication, it's the key to success in your life.